in this video we are going to discuss about the IND AS 41 that talks about the accounting, treatment and disclosure requirements related to agriculture activities. So this accounting standard deals with the accounting and disclosure requirements when the agriculture activity is related to biological asset. Meaning of biological asset we will discuss in next slides in detail. But this does not apply to the bearer plants. And this IND AS will be applied on the lease of biological assets, that is explained in IND AS 116. Apart from it, this standard applies to agriculture produce, which is the harvested produce of entities' biological asset at the point of harvest. This does not deal with processing of agriculture produce after the harvest. For example, if we take an example of grape that is converted into wine, when the grapes are grown, it will not apply on the processing of grapes to wine, but it will be applied on the grapes at the point of harvest. Apart from it, it will apply on the treatment of government grant related to agriculture activities. Those are measured at fair value less cost to sale. IND AS 41 does not apply to agricultural land if it is covered under property, plant and equipment category under IND AS 16, or if it is classified as investment property, then IND AS 40 will apply on this. IND AS 41 will not apply on it. And in case of bearer plant, 41 will not apply, IND AS 16 will apply. And government grant related to bearer plant, it will be covered under IND AS 20. Apart from it, any intangible asset related to agriculture activity, for example, any brand name for sale of agriculture products, will be covered under IND AS 38 instead of IND AS 41. Agricultural activity is management of biological transformation and harvest of biological assets for the purpose of sales, conversion into agriculture produce, and conversion into additional biological asset. To be classified as agricultural activity, there should be involvement of management in biological transformation and harvest of biological asset. For example, natural breeding of animals in zoo or circus as an incidental activity will not be classified as agricultural activity. However, animal or birds raising will be classified as agricultural activity because there is the involvement of management for biological transformation. Similarly, ocean fishing is not an agricultural activity because it lacks the management of biological transformation. But rearing of fishes or honeybee keeping will be classified as an agricultural activity because it involves management of biological transformation. Henceforth, we need to take care when we decide whether an activity is agricultural activity or not, that there should be involvement of management of transformation or harvest of biological assets. Biological transformation comprises process of growth, degeneration and procreation that results into quantitative or qualitative changes in biological assets. Henceforth, biological asset used for plowing, carting will not be covered under biological transformation because the purpose of those assets is not increase the quantitative or qualitative changes in biological assets. Similarly, dogs used for guarding, animals used for vaccine trials, animal used for race, pets will not be covered under definition of biological transformation. Accounting of bearer plant is covered under IND AS 16 property, plant and equipments. So let's understand what the bearer plant is. It is living plant that is used for production or supply of agriculture produce and is expected to bear produce for more than one period and has a remote likelihood of being sold as a agriculture produce except for scrap sale. So these plants will not be covered under IND AS 40, but in case of use in production or supply of agriculture produce, IND AS 16 describe that it is to be solely used for production and supply of agriculture produce. Only in that case, IND AS 16 will be applied. If bearer plant is used for more than one purpose, that is, there is some other purpose also apart from production and supply of agriculture produce. For example, cultivated to be harvested as agriculture produce will not be covered under IND AS 16. In that case, IND AS 41 will be applied on bearer plant. So we need to check that living plant is solely used for production and supply of agriculture produce. In that case, IND AS 16 will be applied. If it is used for more than one purpose, then IND AS 41 will be applied on bearer plant. Let's discuss about the recognition principles for biological asset. There should be future economic benefits flow to organization. Organization should be able to control the assets and the cost of the assets can be reliably measured. For assessing the future economic benefits, management may take in consideration the significant physical attributes of the assets. Controls on the assets can be achieved by legal ownership of the biological assets or cattle, or marking on the cattle at the time of acquisition or birth. And these biological assets will be measured at fair value less cost to sale at the time of initial recognition and at the end of each reporting period. Any gain or loss arising due to this will be booked in profit and loss account. Next topic is government grant in respect of biological asset. So recognition of government grant in respect of biological asset will depend how we measure the biological assets in our books of account. If biological assets are measured at cost, in that case we need to apply IND AS 20. IND AS 41 will not apply if biological assets are measured at cost. In case we measure the biological assets at fair value less cost to sale, and government grant that is received to organization is conditional, in that case we will recognize the government grant in P&L when the conditions related to government grant are met. In case government grant received to organization is unconditional, in that case we will book in P&L when government grant is receivable, becomes receivable. So this is all about summary of IND AS 41 agriculture. If you have any question or queries, you may contact on WhatsApp number given on the screen. And if you want to learn more about other IND ASs, you may visit the channel frequently. Namaste.